What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to tonight's Anfield Agenda late night news roundup. As well as asking the question, are Liverpool really going to pay what Joao Pedro is being priced at from Brighton? We're going to be giving you the latest on Liverpool's search for a centre-back, a winger doing very well in the Dutch league that Liverpool have been linked to, and a couple of fixture changes, as well as all the latest from tonight's late night agenda will be coming your way over the next few minutes. Once you've watched the video, please do feel free to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like if you enjoy it, and of course we'd love you to hit that subscribe button. Now, we know we won't have a Champions League final to look forward to this season, but it doesn't mean we can't still end the season fantastically with a big party at the Hot Water Comedy Club. We're going to be there May 28th, 3 days after the final game of the season. And if you want to come along and join us, you can get your tickets with the link in the description of this video. It is an all ages event. Tickets are priced at just £20 plus booking fee. And you'll get to see myself, Connor Crosby, Steve Bland, Jack Gill and Chris Stonage all together for one night only, including Chris interviewing me on stage and putting me in the hot seat. We hope to see you there, and thank you to everyone that's already bought their tickets. They're doing really, really well. And again, we do appreciate your support. Now, for the news. So we mentioned to you earlier on about Nico Schlotterbeck, 25 years of age, Borussia Dortmund player. He's been linked with a move to Liverpool as a successor for Virgil van Dijk. He currently earns about €5 million per season, and I'm sure that he would want a pay rise if he was to come into Liverpool. We covered that earlier on, but I just wanted to refresh it for you in case you didn't see the video earlier on today. Now, there seems to be an acceptance that one forward in particular will be leaving Liverpool this summer. I'm not talking about Mohamed Salah or Diogo Jota or Darwin Núñez, who could well leave, but we're talking about Federico Chiesa. And it's starting to be written about and spoken about by journalists that it looks like he'll depart this summer. The question that I would have is, who signed him and why? Because it's clear that the manager didn't want to utilise him as the season went on. It looks like he would have happily stayed and played, but he hasn't been given the opportunity. So you've got to ask the question, why have we invested as much as we have in wages and in the transfer fee for a player that the manager didn't want? Now, I can't say 100% he didn't want them, but I can look across the whole season and know that he hasn't played them, and that makes me feel like he doesn't want them. So, gotta ask again, who made that signing and why? Particularly for a club that, as we're always told, has to make every penny count. Now, Liverpool have been linked with a player from the Eredivisie, a fellow by the name of Igor Paxiao. Now, you may know him, I certainly don't. Plays for Feyenoord, 24 years of age. He's a versatile winger who has 8 goals and 13 assists and has been on the list for not just us, but a whole host of clubs, according to @GoalBR. So, let me know your thoughts if you know anything about Igor Paxiao. I know nothing about him. I'm sure Arne Slot probably does, but is he good enough? Would it be a cheap option? And what are those other clubs looking at? Let me know in the comments. Right, next up, some fixture dates. So, Liverpool-Everton, April 2nd, 8 p.m. Fulham-Liverpool will be Sunday, April the 6th, with a 2 p.m. kickoff. Liverpool-West Ham, Sunday, April the 13th, with a 2 p.m. kickoff. Liverpool away against Leicester, Sunday, April the 20th, with a 4:30 kickoff. And Liverpool versus Spurs, now April 27th, with a 4:30 kickoff. So, I've been leading up to this part in the video. I want to get to Joao Pedro in a second, but before I do, we asked the Anfield Agenda viewers tonight, how many first team departures are you expecting this summer? The options we gave were 0 to 2, 2 to 5, or 5 plus. And about 70% of people voted to say that they believe between 3 and 5 players, first teamers, will be departing this summer. That is a lot of turmoil and a lot of change. So let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking. How many first team players do you expect to depart this summer? And maybe follow it up by saying how many incomings you're expecting as well. For me, I really don't know what to expect at the minute. The whole contract situation has me flustered. But seeing Mohamed Salah so upset last night, you couldn't help but feel he thinks he's played his last Champions League game for Liverpool, because I can't think of any other reasonable explanation why he would have been as upset as he was. Of course, he wouldn't want to go out of the Champions League, and of course, probably puts a big dent in his ambition for a Ballon d'Or. But deep down, I think it's most likely because he probably fears that is his last Champions League game in a Liverpool shirt, and it was hard viewing to look at it and see him as upset as he was. So I want to know your take on that. I'm sure you know the images I'm speaking about last night after the game. What do you think is likely to happen there with Mo? And, you know, what would you do if you were him? Because, yes, he could probably stay if he took a huge pay cut. But if you're talking about respect, you could understand maybe why his love of the club is so much that, yes, he'd love to stay, but you got to be paid what you think you're worth. And by all accounts, it seems like he's been lowballed with the offer. So let's wait and see what happens there. Now, Joao Pedro is a player that we've had in conversation many times here on the channel. We've gone back and forth about whether we think he's good enough or not. Some people said they love him. Some people said they wouldn't. But what if I said to you that Brighton value him at £100 million? Still interested? Because for me, that would be a huge no. £100 million, I just don't see the value there. And Liverpool need to get to the point where we're finding these players before they get into Brighton. Because they're looking for Baleba, £115 million apparently is the asking price. Joao Pedro, £100 million. This piece from Gimme Sports said that Liverpool are more likely to sign Joao Pedro than they are AC Milan's Rafael this summer, and that Brighton value him at £100 million. Surely there is no value there. And I can't believe for 1 second that we're going to see a window where Liverpool dropped £100 million on him, £150 million on Alexander Isak, and then still have to maybe replace Salah, Mo, Trent, bring in a midfielder that we still need, bring in the left back that we need, and yes, we'd bring in some money from sales, but it seems like Brighton have lost their mind if that's the asking price, because he's not worth it. I'd go a little bit further. I'd struggle at 50 million to say that there'd be value there for Joao Pedro. So, to the people who believe Joao Pedro is the answer to Liverpool, and I can understand why, he's a talented player, 100 million, do you still think there's value there? Because for me, I don't see it personally. I think I'd rather invest the money in Benjamin Sesko at about £67 million, maybe even Cunha, 100 million. There's just no value there for me. And I think if Brighton really do think he's going to move on, they're going to have to lower that asking price significantly, because, quite frankly, no one's going to pay it because he's nowhere near worth that money. That's my take on it anyway, but I'm more concerned about the contract. And right now, I get the feeling that we may be seeing 2 of the 3 players depart, possibly even all 3. I'm really upset about it, in all honesty, because I've feared this all season. I'd hoped they were going to stay. I'd hoped they'd find common ground. But as the season's gone on, there's just no rational reason to think that they couldn't have found common ground to sign these contracts if the club actually wanted them to stay. So, fingers crossed. We've got a very big summer ahead of us. Of course, we've got a League Cup final to take care of this Sunday, and we will be here for a watch along of that. Tomorrow night, we'll be back same time, same place as well. But appreciate your time tuning in tonight as always. Do let us know your thoughts on the subjects that we've spoken about. Namely, if you know anything about that winger from Feyenoord, and of course your thoughts on the price tag for Joao Pedro. We'll catch up soon, my friends. Much love. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.